What's up, gang? What's up, gang? What's up, gang? If you're new here, welcome to the spiritual ghetto. If not, y'all know what we do here. Grab your water, grab your chapstick. You know, tonight's gonna be a little bit different. We're gonna do a little green tea shot. We're gonna read Zeus Network and Natalie, Nunn, and Lemmy, and so we're gonna light some sage because the baddies is messy. Zeus is messy. Okay. All right. Get that back now. All right, so let's have fun. This will be fun. This is a little different. You know how every now and again I like to get in my little green tea shot mode, and I guess this will be filed under the green tea shot video on YouTube. Um, let's see, let's see, let's see, let's see. Um, First, let's talk me about this conflict between Natalie and Zeus. Let's see the conflict between Natalie and Zeus. That's what I said, right? Um, Nothing, no matter what happens outside of myself, I know that I'm safe. Pisces and codependency. So this seems to be like a round around back and forth kind of energy. This always kind of happens kind of energy that no matter what happens outside of myself, I'm safe. Somebody like is not necessarily like Natalie has permission to act like this, but she has kind of either stressed these points out before it's like a circle with the Pisces energy. It's a round and round kind of energy. So she's stressed these points out before, stressed these concerns before. With the codependency energy, it's something that keeps happening. It keeps coming up. I'm hearing like some deal keeps getting broken. Money opportunity card out here. So something keeps getting broken for money. Some deal keeps getting broken. They keep having to maybe rewrite it or refix it with money. Let's see. What's the deal that keeps getting broken? Natalie, it's this contractual obligations. Yeah, this is contractual obligations. Stay focused. Remember why you started. The Empress and the Magician. All right, so these are giving me very much creator EP energy. I know that obviously. So this is the Empress is like creative energy. It is the ability to create. While the Magician is the ability to create, but in a different kind of capacity. This is more of that executive producer role. This is more of that editor kind of style. Here. Um, so it's some sort of contractual agreement that she has contracted as creator and EP that keeps getting broken and they keep trying to smooth it over with money. This keeps happening. This is a circle. That she says one thing, the contract is set up one way, something else happens on the screen or within filming, and then they try to smooth it over with money. Time and time again, this has happened. Time and time again, this will happen. Um, Stay focused. Remember why you started. Kind of gives me that Natalie's whole plan to this was never to continue being like a contender. The Hierophant, yeah, she wants to be looked at as like uh, the the Pope of baddies, the CEO of baddies. She never intended to still have to be on there fighting is what this is. She is the elevation here is she's looking for like a higher role um as an executive position. She more so wants an executive position at this point. She's kind of this is the energy's kind of draining here, so it's kind of giving me she's kind of tired of the riffraff, the hooting, the hollering, the jumping up and down, which kind of explains why they've got like the baddies going wild thing where they're going and getting younger cast and shit like that. Because I think a lot of the girls are getting quite tired, old now, and not in like a disrespectful way, but like shit, a few years has passed, you know. But definitely with the Hierophant being here, we have that creative energy. She wants to take a more executive position, a higher role, a higher authority. That's really where her main concern is. It's not necessarily being on the show or being not necessarily being on the show or being the face like she is. Scorpio. The world, the truth card, the fool card. Yeah, this is her looking, not necessarily looking to be on the show and be the face that she is in this way, but more so being the face, the brand, the interaction, the business behind. She wants to be the man, the myth, the legend in the background. She's already made herself um kind of, yeah, she's already two of cups, kind of like kissed the present with like making herself like the face of baddies, the face of Bad Girls Club. Um every time they return. But this is also, it's so interesting because it's like it's crazy because Shorty is like the face, but she's looking to be a higher role than like the face. She doesn't want to do the like the physical labor part anymore, all the fucking fighting. She wants to leave that for the other bitches. She really wants to take on an executive position. That's really what the fucking problem is here. It's like she feels like this the whatever they keep doing is keeping her from getting that position. The wheel of fortune, it's keeping her from getting this like fortune, this upper like it's something about what this opportunity will do when she what doors will open when she like takes full reins of this like wish for fucking control. It's like a seize for control, and there's something different that'll move. And even in her world, she may move differently in her world because it may be a different access to money or different access to different rooms with different people with different pockets. It's something about the access that it would allow her to have once she is seen as more of this executive advisory role versus this like baddies kind of animal kind of position. It's weird to explain it that way. Um, that's what our issue is with Zues. What's our issue with Lemmy? Let's see what the issue is with Lemmy. All right, sacrifices in revert. Or I'm supposed to read these up today, but it's like sacrifices. It came out in reverse. It's like the again sacrifices, things that have been like she's made sacrifices. Things have been broken. Just words have been broken, unparalleled. She doesn't feel like anybody. Like she has sacrificed a lot and nobody compares to her. Nobody is the name. Nobody. She's Natalie Nunn. She has developed this personality, this character, this label, this brand, this whole thing, and she has actually sacrificed a lot for this. And um, there's a level of acceptance that has been reached here. I'm not sure who's whose end this is on. But argue for your limitations and you get to keep them. Maybe the limitation or the acceptance is that what is the acceptance? Somebody beginning to, this is not only beginning to realize who she is, the way others view you is none of your business. It's kind of seems like Lemmy's energy over here, but also, so I say this would be the Lemmy card in the section. This would be Natalie kind of realizing, kind of really kind of owning or coming into that executive position like she really wants to. Um, it's going to take some healing, but there's definitely going to need to be some healing because there's a lot of contracts that were broken, a lot of word deals, like spoken word deals, a lot of agreements that were broken, not handled, um, due to personal power, due to ego, pride, there's a lot of that going on right now. A lot of deals, a lot of shit falling through because people said they were going to do one thing, and they're doing another. This is why people are at odds with one another. Gemini energy. This is also very two face energy, very back and forth. Very you said one thing that, but you did another kind of energy. So this has everybody at odds. Everybody's at odds based on the actions of another. Now, there was there was a little bit of speculation that there was a little prostitution within the bad girls culture, within the baddies, that like this was the business. Like they was pimping the girls. So let's see. Also Natalie made claims that she was a hostage. Like they wouldn't let her go. Like, is she a hostage? The truth card is here. They have been holding the reins onto her tight by holding maybe by holding this exact crown or this exact position or holding the reins of how she can get to it or it's like dangling a carrot over someone's head really. You always saying you always have a choice. She can get with the program or she can get gone. As far as they're concerned, But as far as these prostitution allegations are concerned, Scales is here, the world card is here. Yeah, this is true. The chariot, when they are the chariot indicating travel, the Six of Wands, yeesh. This is travel, this is success, this is being seen in the public. So when they travel in the public, state to state, this is definitely something concerning that. Um, Now, this prostitution can be seen as one of two ways with like the way they're wording this with this chariot card here and the Six of Wands. With the chariot and the Six of Wands, this definitely talks about travel, but also being seen in the public eye. So it could be what they do as in performance, like just pimping the girls, like overworking and underpaid kind of energy in that kind of prostitution setting. But with the world card and the world card being designed the way it is in this particular deck, it does give like um very loose kind of energy, very mundane yeah, mundane prostitution with the earth card there, which if you mundane prostitution, because there's different types, apparently, not apparently, but there is different types, but mundanely we're just saying like very carnal, very surface level, very base level, what you think prostitution is on a base level, just selling coochie. That's what's here. There's a little coochie bins on here. 10 a cup, a lot of coochie, excuse me. It's a lot of coochie. um Now, I think that some of this is, well, what do we have? Oh, we've got the spiritual partnership and the rebirth 13. Someone mentioned that there was 13 girls who had taken a part of this. Most of who had done previous seasons with the Ten of Cups, they were happy with the work. The Not necessarily with the work, but they were happy with what they were receiving, the rewards they were receiving in place of this. In exchange of this. Anyways, this was some sort of partnership. I do think it was 13 or so. Maybe there might have been 13 in the beginning, then it dropped to 10, and then it may have went back up to 13. There is going to be a tower. The tower here to me indicates a truth teller, a whistleblower, if you will. Um, I don't want to like piggyback on somebody else's reading, but like somebody mentioned, it's funny because I like have a name in my head and it does start with the name with the letter S, and I'm seeing sacrifices on the table, so I'm gonna go ahead and say it with the Have No Fear card. I think this is my girl Summer. Shout out to my girl Summer. She's from Detroit. She's the Detroit baddie. Your first reading is on the spiritual ghetto, baby. Just know that. But I do think she's going to be the one that is going to out a lot of like what's happening in Zeus. Um, what's happening over there in the network. Oh goodness, we got cards popping. The High Priestess and Trust Your Intuition. She's gonna be the one to out the network, out a lot of things, and it's so funny because a lot of people think that the girlies that are gonna out the network are the girlies that are unworking and unhappy. No, no, no. A lot of them are gonna come forward too, but this is going to be from this is a current employee. She gives me whistleblower energy, mirror effect. Somebody who's inside the house. You got to be inside the house to look inside the mirror, right? Not necessarily. There's some other things you can do, but we're not talking that. We're talking somebody inside the house looking in the mirror. This is somebody um, blowing the whistle. So you can write this down. Mark me on this. Come back and tell me I'm correct, child. But this is definitely somewhere like lighting the shit up. It's telling what old she's gonna run the tea all the way to fuck down. Y'all know how Detroit girls are. They ain't scared of shit, baby. She's gonna run the tea all the way to fuck down. And I think the star. There's some legalities, and just be alone and develop your craft. There's some legalities. Here's what's making you question it. There's some legalities here that like keep people fearful of like saying too much, doing too much. Keep people. It's some legalities here that like keep people in line. Um, and it's really based around fear and ignorance, not necessarily knowing enough. That's why I said just be alone for now and develop your craft. This is like not knowing enough about the business about it. These are entertainers, so not knowing enough about entertainment, management, career. trajectory, how just not knowing enough in so many different areas, and things moving too fast, one door opening, another closing. It's like a revolving door, but it's like spinning at a consistent pace. There's so many girls, there's so much money, there's so many shows, there's so much shit moving and moving and moving and moving. um the Two of Cups, there's the situation, there's some kind of trust, so they're like into something. There's this level of trust that's developed, so people are into something. Two of Cups is like also a card that represents relations or affections, if you will. The Ace of Cups, there's definitely relations here. With rest and rejuvenate, the Ace of Cups, Two of Cups, this is affections. So these may be regulars. If this is that, this may be regular clientele for some of the girls. This is gonna result in some sort of like a Sagittarius. This is gonna sort in some sort of like great tumble for Zeus. The six, or excuse me, the lovers, indicating the six, double six, 66. So this is going to end up being a great tumble for Zeus, but I definitely see it being a moment of reflection. And with the six and the lovers indicating Gemini energy, I do believe this is somebody being able to pull this from the ashes, though. Repentance, the only way he's going to repent is by like rebranding the company and like changing the trajectory of which Zeus is looked at now and like changing it upward. It's a slow build though. The moon, don't spend too much time in contemplation. Fortune favors action, so it will be a slow build, but there will be like constant decisions to turn the network around. You'll notice these decisions, they'll actually be heavyweight decisions. The income, my income is constantly increasing, and as after this, the company has to go through almost like a destructionary period, and that's what will happen. And after that, the decisions to turn the company around will like gain attraction to building funding in a different kind of way. Clear your right on vision. It'll gain traction to build funding in a different kind of way, almost as like, I don't want to say honest, but like it would almost be like honest money at this point. Um, Clean money. So I'm gonna leave that there. That is my synopsis on the whole Zeus thingy. Let's get. I guess we can get a couple of outcomes as and see how like we know the company is going to go through a rebrand, and I think it's going to make it out better on the other side. But let's see, Natalie. Natalie's going to come out on the other side of this. We've got the Emperor out here. She's going to be emotional, but like definitely in charge. The Emperor, the Water card, the Taurus, the Bull, a happy home. She's definitely going to be come out on the greater side of this. In power and more control. I see her having more control than she had before. Um, because the first card out was the Emperor card, but followed by the Water card. So more control, but not just more control over herself and her emotions, but more. It's really like she's taming the bull, and owning the kingdom at the same time with the Happy Home card. So she's taming the animals in the shop and like owning the kingdom at the same time. It's very interesting. The Sun card and like following kind of like a purpose, a direction when it comes to this. I don't know if this is walking away from baddies or like in hand with something, but she ends up with more power on the other side of this, whatever it is. Whether it's her walking away as to executive produce other things, or it's her staying and being who she is, but it's definitely more. There's a come up, there's a comeuppance, a glow up, if you will, where she ends up more powerful on the other side of this. So I'm gonna leave that there. I appreciate y'all for watching, and remember, it's all living in the hood. I am open for personal readings, and peace.